So let's see how this unfortunate person died.
Enjoying a meal with your date in a busy restaurant, the evening has been going really well so far. You take another bite of the delicious food when suddenly you begin to choke. Quietly but frantically, you begin signaling to your date that something is horribly wrong. Your hands clasping around your own throat.
I mean, if you're eating a meatball that big, and you're eating in one bite, you're definitely gonna fucking choke.
Terrifying realization dawns. You can't breathe. In the meantime, the quiet realization turns to shock and then to horror as patrons around your table begin to grasp the gravity of the situation.
Someone go do the Heimlich, damn it, or smash yourself into the table. Actually, there's a tool that everyone should probably buy for their house. If you're choking on something, it's like the suction cup thing. It was originally meant for helping like little kids or babies, because you can't do a Heimlich on either a super young kid or a baby, because you can actually do massive damage and potentially kill them by accident. But yeah, there's like a suction cup thing that you can use. It's like $40 and it works for everyone. And it's basically the easiest way to, it's like, it sucks out basically whatever's choking you effectively. And it's super like easy just to grab because it's just like right there, already pre-assembled. It takes a second. So that'd be like the one thing you should have in your house, aside from maybe one of those like fire blankets that you can throw over your stove. That you stick them to the side of your fridge, and you grab that versus water on a grease fire.
Then, all of a sudden, a hero comes to the rescue. They quickly come up from behind and wrap their arms around your chest to perform the Heimlich maneuver. And then, it happens. A piece of food comes shooting straight out of your mouth. Your life is saved, as the restaurant staff and diners applaud. Embarrassing. But what if you didn't start choking until later, when you're at home, alone
Yeah, what the fuck?
in your room, and the food isn't even there to cough up anymore? That doesn't sound right, does it?
No. Okay, so yeah, real quick, I'll talk to you about never after this, actually.
For 51-year-old Darren Hickey, this situation became a horrifying reality, and it all started when he accepted a seemingly innocent offering. April 4th, 2019, Darren was just about to leave Ridgemont House, the wedding venue he managed in Chorley, England, when he was stopped by one of the chefs who requested Darren sample one of their new fish cakes. Darren obliged.
Okay, this kind of sounds like maybe he had like anaphylaxis or something. Yeah, I have a lot of things scheduled on my YouTube channel.
Popping the appetizer into his mouth, but upon biting through its crunchy exterior, his mouth was met with an interior that was soft, moist, and extremely hot. Nonetheless, he swallowed the food down. Almost immediately, a searing pain began developing in his throat, a pain that eventually became so unbearable that he decided to get it checked out. He made a
Was it like bones or something? What the fuck?
The urgent care ward at Chorley.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's like one of those like crazy fish that need to be prepared in a very specific way, and someone like fucked up during the process.
Hospital. Darren informed hospital staff that, other than the continuous pain in his throat, he didn't have any particular pain while swallowing, nor any difficulty breathing. His medical checkup showed nothing unusual, including no notable issues with his breathing upon listening to his chest. His situation was also discussed with an ear, nose, and throat specialist from a nearby teaching hospital. Since he seemed stable and had no severe symptoms, breathing
surprising the teaching hospital didn't like.
His situation was also
surprising the teaching hospital didn't do any additional like tests. Anytime I've gone to a teaching hospital or worked for them, they do a lot of excess tests because a lot of times they're a lot cheaper in most cases. Not every time, not every test. It depends. But like the base test, though, a lot of times they kind of just like roll it all into one little thing. So I'm surprised they didn't do extra tests considering it was a teaching hospital.
Also discussed with an ear, nose, and throat specialist from a nearby teaching hospital. Since he seemed stable and had no severe symptoms, Darren was sent home with paracetamol for the pain and was instructed to come back if his symptoms became worse. And sure enough, 2 hours after he arrived home, he let his partner, Neil Parkinson, know that the pain in his throat was worsening. But instead of heading straight back to the hospital, he went to his room to try to get some rest. Only 15 minutes later, at about 9:45 p.m., everything took a turn for the worse. Neil heard a strange sound coming from upstairs, followed by Darren shouting. He ran upstairs to see if his partner was all right, only to discover him in a terrible state. He was stood up, choking and coughing, so I banged on his back, but then he slid forward onto the floor, Neil would later recall. He promptly called an
I mean, it feels more like this was like a poisoning versus like choking, right? Or maybe some sort of like allergy or something.
ambulance
And
and
they
proceeded to
go into
perform
anaphylaxis
CPR
to a
on
degree.
Darren as instructed by the emergency phone operator. When paramedics arrived on the scene,
Side note: if you ever do have to do CPR, and you're not like 100% tone deaf, then you should turn on the song "Staying Alive," because that's like the exact perfect thing for. Oddly enough, the song itself is interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting little history
they
tidbit.
knew they had to work quickly and performed an emergency tracheostomy, a procedure where a small incision is made in the trachea on the throat, inserting a tube to help him breathe, essentially bypassing whatever was causing the obstruction, cutting off his oxygen supply. Paramedics then got him into the ambulance and sped to the hospital. Time ticked as they continued performing CPR on Darren while they made
I mean, like, I totally get why you would like cut through someone's throat to do that, but man, that does not sound fun. It just feels like just thinking about
a
it.
nearly
Oh
20-minute
no.
drive to the Royal Bolton Hospital. Once there, medical staff began working to get Darren breathing on his own again, but they worried that his airway had already been blocked for too long. You're right, Bean. It is strange that he began choking almost 10 hours after ingesting the fish cake. He had even told the hospital during his earlier medical exam that he wasn't having any trouble breathing. So why the sudden change? And how often does something like this happen?
I was unable to find statistics regarding choking cases occurring in people hours after the
that's
initial
weird.
ingestion of the food. But in 2022, the United States recorded approximately 5,554 choking deaths.
Jeez. I thought that was okay. So I thought that was like a list of all the countries that had like bad choking deaths, and the U.S. at the top. I'm like, I guess we do like big food here, and apparently not learning how to chew. But gee, I mean, 5,000 is a lot, but it's not like a massive number depending on the
Predominantly
other
among
non-shit.
elderly individuals, with food being the most frequent cause
Elderly,
of such
that makes sense.
incidents.
Not exactly what I was getting at, Howard, but wow. That's a concerningly high number of casualties from choking. What I meant was, how could this happen? There must have been something else going on. The food wasn't even there anymore. Was it a shellfish allergy?
That's
No,
what I was thinking.
It probably
No?
has something to do with the temperature of the food. But why
Maybe.
did his other symptoms take so long to present?
Like, did it like burn his throat somehow? I don't know. It's weird.
How come he didn't spit out the fish cake if it was so hot? Oh, it says here that Darren was a stroke survivor 7 years prior.
Oh, okay.
That could explain why he would swallow food that was scaldingly hot in the first place.
It is possible for a recovered stroke victim to have delayed reactions to sensory input
Interesting. Didn't know about that. That does make sense, though.
due to impairments in neural pathways and thus increasing the risk of injury when ingesting hot food.
So, it's entirely possible that he didn't realize that the fish cake was too hot to swallow until he had already swallowed it. But how did the fish cake get so unbearably hot in the first place?
Well, it sounds like the restaurant he was in there for like a test, right? So it came like right out of the fryer, and the guy just like rushed it out to him.
It's possible that the fish cake, which is typically made up of a soft, tender filling surrounded by a deep-fried crust, was removed from the deep fryer and left to cool just long enough for the crunchy exterior to be palatable. Meanwhile, because the interior was moist and insulated by the fried batter, it would have been cooled at a slower rate and only revealed its devastating heat once Darren bit into it. Or, it's also possible that the food had been made earlier and reheated in a microwave before.
That's true. Like when you actually heat something in a microwave that actually has like like a crunchy or like harder exterior. Perfect example would be like a Hot Pocket, right? Hot Pockets don't seem that hot when you're holding them, but if you bite into them, it's like molten fucking lava on the inside, and you're like, "What the fuck?" So yeah,
being
it's
served,
kind of reminds
which
me of that.
would open up a whole new topic of conversation. Microwaves can heat food unevenly, creating hot spots that you might not notice right away. This can be dangerous because if you eat or drink something with these hidden hot spots, it could bypass the usual safeguards in your mouth and deliver intense heat.
Yeah, that's true. Like for instance, actually, Hot Pockets are that perfect example because you can eat a bite and it doesn't necessarily like Like as you swallow it, it then burns the back of your throat, and you're like, ah, fuck.
straight to your throat before you even realize that it's too hot. Take this example of a 21-year-old male
Potato.
student who suffered a burn deep in his throat after consuming a freshly microwaved potato without
Yeah, that actually that can happen. Not saying that I've ever done that, but maybe.
allowing it to cool. He initially experienced a sensation of something stuck in his throat and later developed difficulty swallowing and breathing. Medical evaluation revealed swelling in the throat, but no visible obstructions or airway blockage. Treatment involved a feeding tube.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Like, if you burn your throat, I guess it could swell and then potentially close the airway off. All right, well, be careful. Only eat cold food from now on, I
and
guess.
steroids, leading to his recovery after 3 days. Or this case of a 79-year-old man who experienced severe pain and had difficulty swallowing after eating overly hot lasagna, heated in a microwave. His symptoms included a hoarse voice, difficulty managing saliva, and a burning sensation in his upper digestive tract. An endoscopy in the emergency department showed burns on his vocal cords and throughout his esophagus. Treatment included medication for swelling and careful monitoring in intensive care. Luckily, he recovered within 2 days and was discharged from the hospital without any residual symptoms. So then what exactly took place with Darren's throat that landed him in the hospital, fighting for his life? It turns out that the fish cake was so hot that it caused a thermal burn to his larynx, which is the upper part inside the throat that includes the vocal cords. This injury resulted in a laryngeal edema, a dangerous swelling that can obstruct the airway. Unfortunately, these particular burns can develop silently and worsen quickly.
Well, I was not expecting, I was expecting it to be like an allergy reaction or something like that.
Often without initial severe symptoms, making them particularly
I can't remember what those things are called. They start with like a T, though, right? It's like trega. I forgot exactly what those things are, but I'm pretty sure those things start with a T.
dangerous.
Totally
In
forgot what they
Darren's
are.
case, the severe burns were so deep in his throat that the laryngeal edema could only have been seen with
Yeah,
special equipment.
Yeah, that's what they're called. I still can't even say it right. Tardigrade, something like that.
Sadly, there wasn't much medical staff could do when Darren arrived at the hospital the second
10th
time.
degree bird.
And after exhausting
Yeah,
all
seriously.
options, an electrocardiogram confirmed the devastating reality. Darren's heart had stopped. After 25 minutes of CPR, they abandoned their effort.
I guess that's how you kill someone, right? Just make food so hot that super cool on the outside, super hot on the inside, and you'll accidentally kill someone in the restaurant and be like, how the fuck were we supposed to know? And that's how you off someone.
And Darren was declared deceased in the early hours of the following morning. A post-mortem examination confirmed the swelling,
Yeah,
but showed no signs
I mean,
of an
Hot
allergic
Pockets
reaction,
absolutely are basically the
reinforcing
same
direct
thing, though.
Cause of death being a thermal injury from the hot fish cake he had eaten. Dr. Patrick Wow,
Actually, I wonder how many people have died from Hot Pockets. I kind of want to look that up
who
now.
performed Darren's autopsy, explained that his case
Someone go
was
look up that.
extremely uncommon. Basically, we normally see this scenario in people
You're talking about the hot coffee situation? That's actually more complicated than you might think.
who are involved in house fires with inhalation of smoke which burns the airways or industrial accidents with hot steam. The patient can appear well, they'll be talking to you, but then the swelling starts. It's safe to say that you shouldn't expect to have your throat being severely burned whenever you eat something that's a little too hot. But Darren's case shows us how life-threatening thermal injuries can be when they go untreated. Even if it's just pain that you're experiencing
Actually, I think
after
Brew did
eating
a video
something
on the hot
piping
coffee
hot,
one.
you probably should get an immediate and thorough medical assessment to be safe. It could be a severe burn that develops into something much worse.
So, as always, stay safe out there, friends. And if you thought this story was intriguing, then you should watch this.
Great. Now, Hot Pockets are awful. Oh, great. A puppy licked her and she lost both legs and both of her hands. That just sounds great. Also, don't get puppies.
One about how a woman lost all 4 of her limbs after her own puppy licked her. Until next time, from myself, Howard, and Bean.
Damn it. Jeez. The puppy was actually explosive. Right? No, there's pizza rolls too, though. Pizza rolls are the small ones, right? Oh, the tardigrade, his name is Bean. That makes sense. Also, those things, if you consider them like pets, and well, they can't grow that big, but because they're like minuscule technically, but yeah, when you watch these, you do kind of feel like it's if it's not happening to you, it could happen to you, and you're like looking at the item on your desk that causes that thing. You're like, oh, this phone on my desk is a bomb? Shit. This pen on my desk is a bomb? Shit. This drink I'm drinking is poison? Well, when? Oh, yeah, like the fucking gum, right? Yeah, I'm just going to dip this in citric acid. Oh, wait, it's not citric acid. The guy blows his face off.